Hi, Peter Charles here of Hooked for Life Fly Fishing, and today we're going to tie a Perdigon. It's a type of very fast sinking fly. It's very slick. It's designed to penetrate into very fast water, deep slots, get down very quickly. So you kind of need the water to fish it. I can think of one little spot on the Credit River where this was going to work quite well because it allowed me to get into those really short, tight pockets and get the fly fishing right away. So let's get into tying this fly and seeing the materials we're going to use. My hook is a size 10 jig hook. Of course, you could use something smaller. Size 10 shows up well in the video. We're going to be using a 4mm tungsten bead. My thread is a white Vivas 10/0. I'm going to use 15 thou lead wire. The tail is going to be Chickaboo Grizzly. The body is olive Antron. Now, when it comes to body materials on these flies, I mean, really, Perdigon is a style of tying a fly. It's a style rather than a particular pattern. So, I mean, when you get into body materials, the game's wide open. And we're also going to use some 8/0 fluorescent fire orange to give it a nice hot tag to it. I call it a tag. It's actually more of a collar, but you get the idea. Okay, let's get the lead on and get tying. We'll just jam the lead right up against the bead. Make sure it's nice and flat. Now we tie on our thread behind where we stopped the lead. Next up is our tail with the Chickaboo. Grab a few barbs and tie them in so they butt up against the lead. Now we're going to build up our thread, because what we're going to do is we're going to create a taper. This is the unique part of this type of fly. They usually have these spiky tails and the tapered body. And if your lead starts to stick up, put it down. Doesn't hurt to put a couple of wraps over the lead just to keep it in place. Now I've got a little bit of lead sticking up. You can see how I'm working around that because the taper is going to be right up to that level. If there's a little bit of lead showing, that Antron will take care of it. Now we bring our thread to the back. Careful not to squish our tail down. We'll take some Antron. And again, no further than the lead. Wind it back and then bring your thread forward. Now we're going to put one wrap. I'm just going to pull it tight. One wrap at the back. And now I'm going to put some hackle pliers on that Antron and I'm going to spin it up. Turn it into a rope. And if your tail moves, take a moment to put it back. Now, what I'm doing with this is creating segmentation. Antron can be really fussy with bits coming loose on you. We'll take care of those in a minute. I like using Antron, but you can get these loose bits all over the place, so just come in and snip them off. We've got to get rid of these because they will show up in the when we put the UV glue on. Try and get that loose ends down best you can. Now we whip finish our white. And you can see how I've made this white base over the olive. I'm going to come in and cover that with my hot orange. Now we whip finish the orange. Now you'll see in some of these patterns they put a little bit of black for a wing case. So we're going to do that. Just use a little marker. Some will put a drop of black UV on there. However you want to do it, you want a little bit of black. Now we're going to do the UV glue. And how I like to do that is, instead of trying to use the brush on the UV glue, I'm going to just put some in this bowl and use a toothpick to spread it. I mean, if you're really good at using those those brushes in there, go for it, but I prefer a toothpick. Have a little bit more control. If you're getting a bulge of it, take it off. You want to smooth as body as you can. Spread it around. Now what I like to do is keep turning this while I get my flashlight, so it doesn't gloop up in one spot and we end up with this blob. Okay, there you have the Perdigon. This is one done with Antron. It's a relatively dark pattern. You can do this in a variety of materials, body materials. I'm going to do a few more, change the body materials up, and you can see the difference. Antron can be a little messy to use because it tends to, you know, fray up on you and you end up with bits all over the place. But, you know, I think it's still a good material to use, and I like the way it kind of darkens up. You can see how this stuff really glows when I put some UV on it. So, you know, on the right kind of conditions, this is going to be quite a hot little fly to use. And I look forward to using this in that little spot on the credit where these kinds of flies will really penetrate and get to the bottom of those little pockets. So give it a try, the Perdigon, and stay tuned because I'm going to do a few more with different body materials. Cheers.